Hello, my fellow Americans and friends, family, fellow immigrants, those who migrated here legally. And as you can tell, I'm kind of impressing on that. And it's because today I want to talk to you about comments that I'm seeing in my content that is about legal immigrants. And though I agree 100%, they should go home. They need to go home of their own free will and maybe even avoid hardships just by going home, especially the Venezuelan people, because their government has gone through the turmoil of their new leader. I don't know what he calls himself, dictator, whatever. The term is overused, so you never know who's who these days. But I'm not saying the comments are bad, okay? I also want you to hear that. And I didn't see anything I took offense to. And I am kind of like you guys about the necessity to stand our ground. But standing our ground does not mean we have to be cruel in any way. Doesn't. Americans, our presidents have always been known for their ability to be diplomatic. And diplomacy, when you are dealing with something that you are not accustomed to, or something that you're angry is happening, then you really need to use those skills more than your aggression. Now, one thing that my granny told me, she said, you know, Angel, we had a kind of justice in my day that had nothing to do with the courts. The people never saw a judge, but we knew what they did in our communities. So when we looked at them, if we looked at them, we looked displeased, not disgusted, displeased. Just lowered our eyes away and shook our little heads. And that was called shunning. It is a nonviolent way to protest. And instead of going to the courts and the judges and the political party, there are other kinds of punishment for crimes that are non-violent, non-aggressive, and I mean, I'm going to help somebody, I don't care who it is, illegal or an immigrant. I don't care. If they're hurt and they need help, I'm going to help them. If they are dehydrated, because I did live in Lubbock and I know what it's like in that area to go without water. So I'll give them water. I will not give them shelter. I might even give them some food, but I'm not giving them shelter or money. And if you're in a firm stance, a lot of people find it hard to approach you. That's why shunning is so effective. So if you want these people to move out of your communities, let them take their government money and go find another place, because you're not going to offer them jobs, right? You're going to keep those for the American people, because a lot of these businesses are closing their doors. Big business. Now, there's a solution to that, but people don't want to hear it. And it will also drive down the cost of living while at the same time keeping the businesses that we use open. Instead of going like California has done, and Florida kind of followed the same trend, and now they're feeling the housing collapse, and they're feeling companies closing their door because of theft laws and because of, and when I say theft laws, I mean laws giving them a right to steal from you. You're an American. If you own a business, nobody has a right to steal from you. And you do have a right to defend yourself and your livelihood. So make that clear to your employees. Let them know that we're going to have to really watch our backs, because they're going to become desperate, more desperate than they are right now. Right now they got a little money in their pocket, a little chance of food, but can't find any kind of shelter. Well, they can go back to where they came from. That's their shelter. And it was cowardly of them to leave their countries while they are in turmoil. So America used to set the standard for how people behave towards each other in the world. Believe it or not, we did. We're really good at it too. Everybody thought we were cold and standoffish, which I've often been described as, and I'm sure you can tell that by how serious I'm looking. More than a disgusted look is a serious look. It has an impact that is a warning before the disgust, before the upset. Young Americans especially, are acting like animals. And I want to see more and more of them getting arrested. I want to see more and more of the police interacting with the people to avoid high numbers of arrests, because that's a two-handed. Now, I see both videos on YouTube, good and bad, that talk about the police. But I got to tell you something. The police have helped me more times than I have ever seen them kill anyone on YouTube or the news. That's how many times they've helped me. More times than stupid people thinking they have a right to say no to the police tells me you don't know that your government owns you. And that starts from the bottom to the top, baby. Going from your mayor right up to the president. That is who owns you. And the corporations that fund them. It's time you get on board and aware of what is coming at you. And right now, they're seeing our northern borders are weaker than our southern borders. Our eastern and western borders have always been difficult for them to push through. They do, but we have proper entry ports, and they will use them, or we will defend our land, which we have a right to do. I don't care what Kamala Harris says, that you don't have a right to protect your property, and that if somebody wants to come and live there and steal from you, they have every right to do it. I don't believe in that garbage, Kamala. Yeah, I've heard some of your videos from your ads from when you were in California. Now, what you and Governor Newsom have done to California, Mexico don't want you. So when you succeed, you're going to have to be your own state. And then they're going to want you after that's done, or your own country. And once that's done, I'm telling you why Texas has never succeeded. Did not leave the Union, and there's a reason for it. In California, Mexico's going to grab you up because they're going to come in there with arms. You are a small country, and your ass will get shot. Cartels will take over, And all the problems that Mexico is having with their people is going to boil over. It's already boiled over here. But if you want an effective way to drive them out of the community, you do not provide them housing, you do not provide them jobs, and you tell them you need to be on your way. You don't throw them out. You just let them know they're not going to be accepted. Now, this is how they treated slaves after the Civil War, to abolish slavery, when black people were the majority of slaves at that time. And so were the Chinese. See, most people don't even talk about that. But they got the same freedom as the black people. So white people and black people both got freedom. I love how they leave out part of the story for convenience about racism and life's about color. It is not. But show that you don't accept them. Don't go to some board, committee, or any of that. Just take it upon yourself. I'm just saying, don't be welcoming. If you're overly welcoming and your heartstrings are being pulled on, you got to stand your ground. Because you're going to get walked on if you don't. Home invasions will continue. Illegal immigrants will replace you in your homes and your lands, and you will be homeless. I love America. And I love free speech. But use it wisely. It's as much a weapon as it is an open door. So keep that in mind. Make America safe again. I don't trust Trump. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I don't trust that he's going to be able to do 1/10 of what he says he can or wants to do, because I saw his struggles when he was in the White House the last time. And there is nothing to say that this rigged election, or this election won't be rigged, because I do believe that the Biden-Trump election was rigged for Biden, because there were too many dead people on the ballots, and now we're going to have illegals voting. So you have to really work with your communities and be kind while you are being firm. And when I say kind, don't go up and pat them on the back. Go up and let them know you're welcome to pass through on your way back to South America or the UK or Canada. Do you need some food? A little bit of water? Oh no, that's right. If you came in through the border entry, you got cards. All right. Americans, there's not going to be any getting around some kind of a civil war. Now, we can do it bloody, or we can do it using our intelligence. Because no matter how badly we're acting, we are smart people. So please, keep your comments decent, like you're doing. I'm really proud of that, I gotta say. I mean, I've got no sympathy. I am here with you, but I don't believe in being cruel to another human being. And because I have hurt someone so badly that she'll never be a part of my life again. And it breaks my heart. And it was only because I stood too firm. And that allowed me to say things to her I would normally never say. So some of these illegal immigrants are going to stay here. But we have got to push that no American job goes to these illegal immigrants. Now, we have to push it through what we've been doing. Now, the boycotts are hitting the businesses, kinda, but it's not walloping them like the demands for higher minimum wage. Ridiculous. Nobody working at McDonald's should be making more than maybe $7 or $8 an hour. I'm sorry. To start out, that's where you should start. You don't belong up here at $12 an hour for a skill you have not learned yet. And you haven't been at the company long enough to actually earn $12 an hour. And all companies, even McDonald's, even Burger King, give raises on your production. But you guys are too busy quitting jobs and keeping the turnover going crazy and demanding more money. You got to start thinking logically about things. You got to. It's the American way. It's what made us the greatest country in the world. Remember that. Granny out.